Hello, hello. Good evening, good evening. Talk Live. My name is Sax Francisco. I'm bringing you some tea on the U.S. presidency. And I would like to just say, you don't have to believe me. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to like me. You don't have to follow me. I'm just going to discuss a few things that I think could be happening over the next year. And it has been a cold and dreary day, so I'm going to try to wipe that away with a hot cup of tea. So join me, and I'll first say why I'm talking about this. A client of mine just the other day asked me, with the midterm elections coming up in the USA, is there any hope with the change of seats between Congress and Senate that maybe there's enough people that would want or go after an impeachment? Now, I don't actually think that's what's going to happen, but when I did tune in to Donald Trump, this is pretty much what I said. And we'll start from here.
When we look at the planet that controls illusion and delusion, it must be like owning Trump at this point. He must be eating, drinking it, and sleeping it, and pissing it, because for the love of Pete,
Yes, let's talk about Donald Trump's illusions, and it is Neptune, the planet that will control illusions and delusions. Now, what Trump is also really famous for are his denials. All right, now, let me just give you one denial. I'm sure if you're from the US, you would know way more than I. But remember how many times Donald Trump has said, I don't know Epstein, but as the files come out, how many photos have you seen with them together? Okay, so first thing I'm predicting with how Trump's world is going to be changing and devolving perhaps is all the things that he was already denying and getting away with, okay? These things won't be able to be denied anymore. And I feel that there's a crack in his wall figuratively, and it even makes me wonder, could there be a change in relations between him and Mexico? However, I still feel like the real crack that is coming for him is Neptune, because he's already pathological narcissist, pathological liar, and what topples this into such a sublime psychological twist is, he's got the extreme onset of dementia, which is going to help him in this world of make-believe, trying to discern what is reality and what is not. So, where do you think the crack in the wall will come from with respect to his mental health? Okay, so watch in that way. And for me to be saying anything about what I believe on a clairvoyant level that could start taking place, I am not wishing it into being. I do not want anybody wishing harm or expecting harm from this at all. I know, I believe my client was, hoping I was predicting that, Trump was leaving the planet, but I actually don't feel he's leaving the planet yet. And I have already received distinct vision that I know he's alive and well as we go through a bit of time here. This is recorded August 24, 2026. As we're going into January 2027, I have already been given a vision that he is very much alive and well, even with dementia being a concern. He is alive and well, January 2027. Okay, and midterm elections do not shift his seat as president. Nothing is changing Okay, and my first take on the midterms, basically, even if seats change with Congress, Congress is so bought on both sides, Republican and Democrat. You may feel a change in seat could bring a change in process or procedure or anything, and I'm going to say you are so gridlocked with people being paid off on that level that you will not see change, and you can think any illusion that you wish, but I'm going to say you will not be seeing change. However, when people vote the Senate, if you want to see how Americans have made their voices be known, you will see heads roll in the Senate. And quite frankly, I'm going to say that if you really truly see that there's a play on this planet, not just in the United States, where there really truly is an essence of good versus evil really catching up here and throwing up here, I would say you will see that as people are removed from the Senate, people are put in the Senate. And if the kingdom is going to topple a little, I would say that it's in the Senate. And I would say also there is going to be hopefully dramatic and impressive karmic shifts where real changes can be made. And one of the changes that I feel could be very significant in 2027 is how ICE is permitted to police policy, all of their processes, protocols of policing, in even detainment. I feel like there's going to be 4 states that go after ICE. Okay, so they would still be operating, but they will be absolutely rewritten. And I feel that that is significant. And when I'm seeing that, even when I'm saying it now, that is not in the hands of Donald Trump. That is going to be in the hands of other U.S. movements. Cheers. Now, one of the first predictions I ever made about Donald Trump was that he would get into the Oval Office 2 years ago. It did happen. I had also seen, though, that the reason he was placed there was he was supposed to correct, make a karmic correction on the way the U.S. presidency prior to his stay handled NATO, Ukraine, and all of the mess that has come since then. Trump was supposed to be balancing that karmically, okay? And even the first 100 days in, he was failing miserably. Instead of going into a state of healing to balance it, he pulled in Zelensky, and it went into like this horrible, it was just a denigration of trying to even get into any form of balance. And honestly, it was quite a mockery. Anyway, if you saw it, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, here's the thing. Not wishing anything in this regard, but what I do know is if you are karmically responsible for something that important that could shift nations, and correct that, and you haven't done it, universe doesn't always play fair, okay? They can create illness, injury, accident, or even death. They don't mess around, okay? And sometimes what universe will do is they will create circumstances for you to heal that once. Oh, you didn't do it the one time, let's create another circumstance, let's do it on the second time. Oh, you didn't do that 3 times, or out. So, not wishing it on anyone, I'm just saying that this can work itself out by the forces of the universe. So, belligerent and badass Donald Trump, he seems to mock needing to be accountable on any level for his mouth and his mania. Okay, so again, I want to say that this is where his own personal wall is going to be cracking from respect to like where his brain takes him and where his mouth takes him. Okay, so this is going to be dramatically changing. Now, going back to me thinking that he's alive and well in January 2027, I would still say this man is going to have some serious health issues coming his way. And what I feel about that is, I know that there's lots of doctors who are also in pure awe that the president is still walking and talking and somewhat functioning. He's apparently jacked up on a lot of different meds. I feel when I tune into him, I feel the only thing going for him is his spine, and I feel that's the only thing keeping his body up right now. I don't feel any organ is really in any great shape with this man. What I see mostly with respect to his chest, I feel over the next year, and it may be leading into his 2.5-year mark. I made this prediction 2 years ago when he came into office, and I'm going to say it again. I know people are hoping he just leaves the planet. I don't think he's leaving the planet, but he's going to be leaving the office. And he will not be voted out. He will be removed because of his health. Okay, so these are, now again, notwithstanding there are so many things wrong with his organs, okay? But I still want to say, in the number of ways this person could fall apart on a health level, I'm going to say it's going to have something to do with his chest, okay? And I'm going to say that New York City, all of the debris, all of the ashes, if you only knew what was in the air with 9/11, New Yorkers could tell you whether they're breathing well or not at this point. What I see with Donald Trump is he had to have been there at the time of 9/11, because what I see in his respiratory is this man has a resting in the chest is what I'm getting, okay? But I don't necessarily think this would be a heart failure, believe it or not, though arrest could be cardiac arrest. I see a lot of debris in his lungs, in all air passageways, and this is like toxic inorganic debris that has made it, when I'm looking at it, it's almost like having cement in your passageways. How much air do you think is going through there? Okay, so that's what I'm seeing in his passageways. And I want to say that that's already contributing to circulation on all levels, okay? And not wishing it on anyone. And I would say if New Yorkers are really still suffering that, I would hope that you're taking things that get rid of inorganic chemicals from your lungs. You got to get rid of inorganic chemicals. And that's just a lot of heaviness. So now I made the prediction he's going to be leaving office around the 2.5-year mark. This is how I feel it goes down. I actually think there's going to be one more assassination attempt. I'm not trying to make this happen, but I do feel like someone's coming for him. And I feel that one more assassination attempt, when I'm seeing it, I am in awe that this man could even survive it. What I think happens is I believe he's going to be hit. Oh, sorry, I'm getting shivers when I'm thinking of showing this, not wishing it on anyone. I believe what's going to happen is someone's coming for him, one more attempt, and it's coming into the area of his shoulder where he actually could be shot one more time, not wishing it on him. And my feeling is if they were aiming for his heart, they miss. But they do get this area, which is sort of like clavicle, you know, above breast, just tucked in here. So it might be one of the luckiest spots that they made a mistake hitting, because it doesn't quite ruin his shoulder. It kind of just tucks right in here. And I'm pointing on my right side, by the way. So I don't even know if they hit him on the left. So anyway, however it goes, if they were aiming for the heart, it does not hit the heart. It feels like it's hitting closer to the shoulder. And more even in this muscle insertion up here, okay? So in saying that, if there's any jeopardy to his heart, it would not be because a bullet hit it. It would be because possibly there would be destruction to an artery or vein, important for the heart, of course. So I see him in a hospital bed. I see him with Melania holding his hand, of course. But this is where, okay, I don't mean to chuckle over this because it looks like he's apparently surviving yet another attempt here, okay? And he makes it to a hospital bed. But this is almost kind of like, oh, I'm getting like all these funny things. Okay, now remember, he does like illusion and he loves to just say one thing to your face and he's doing something else. So what I suspect, oh my God, I don't know why I'm getting all like the EBGB shakes when I'm saying this. It's like, oh, it's simple, but I want to still say, I believe his health gets so bad, okay, at one point that either Melania is trying to cover for him, and I think it could be something silly where like there could be like the Secret Service right outside their doors, but you know, she's still gonna kind of like, oh no, really, no, yes, he's okay, yes. And anyway, I think it's gonna be this crazy thing where there could just be this short time, just a short time, like maybe less than a week, but I still feel they're gonna try to get away with pretending that nothing is wrong with Donald. Nothing's wrong, nothing, but there is, okay? And that's where like people in the office are sort of like, okay, all right, like show us Donnie. Like give us proof of Donnie. And then like I'm saying, the wall cracks, okay? There's gonna be several things that crack open, okay? And that's one of them where people around his own office know that he's becoming absolutely incapable through his health. So he's going to be practically like pretending he's more up and around than he really is. It could be Melania pulling a Patrick Clancy where she's like sending texts when he's not really there. Okay, sorry about that, slipping that in there. But in any case, there's a bit of presidential trickery there is what I'm seeing. So bottom line is I do indeed predict somewhere around his 2.5-year mark, which would be if he was elected in November, December, January, February, March, April, May. So somewhere around May 2027, see if indeed his health has caught up with him, okay? And I just see that that's how he is removed from the White House, okay? Now, other predictions that I'd like to just go over. I just want to remind myself, pardon me, I'm looking at a reading, transcription of a reading that I did do, and I believe I have covered most of it, but I do have a prediction with respect to Gaza. Okay, now, I did say earlier, that, of course, he's going to be alive through January, right? Okay, so here's the thing, though. I also see that he's still pulling gains with Gaza. And remember, please, to just stay neutral on this, is it fair to say the war that is being fought over Gaza is, there is an illusion as to the truth of what the war is truly about? Can we just keep it as simple as that? Because here is where anything that Donald Trump has set up as an illusion or a delusion that he believes in, that he feels is a reality, and he wants everybody else to play along. I'm going to be rude, but I really do say that Donald Trump has become Israel bitch, and Israel has become Donald Trump's bitch, and they've got a mutual agenda that is the darkest, as you have seen. And the two of them do seem, I'm referring to Netanyahu, I will say that unfortunately this man is on the planet until I believe his 84th year minimum, and there would be great difficulty in his health at 84. So if he's any younger than that, he's going to keep ticking. But what is going against, you know, wow, how do I phrase this? It's like, okay, I'm just going to switch around. I'm going to just say that the illusion that Donald Trump continues to wish the world to buy with respect to why there is a genocide in Gaza, European countries are not standing for this anymore, okay? It will not be North America, it will not be Canada nor the US of A that will help bring a stop to Gaza. It will be Europe. And what I sense is, I feel Austria and I feel Australia is meant to be part of this. And I feel Denmark could do something that is humanely significant. And I believe that most of Europe bands together in this, and there would be time in world court to bring this into justice and to bring this into action. And there will be a very, very important and significant move with respect to arms embargo that Europe instigates. And I believe this is going to start erupting and imploding in March 2027, where Europe comes to the defense of Gaza once and for all. And it needed to happen earlier, but it's just going to implode by March is what I'm seeing, March 2027. And that's where things will start to shift. And I want to say that this will be a war where no weapons are launched, okay? On the contrary, this will be a war where weapons are removed, and it could have long impact and lasting impact on how arms are even available for wars. Watch what I'm talking about, and I'm hoping I'm really seeing that the way it's shown here, where it will be the Europeans. So let's see if this really goes much longer. My phone is already just dying a little too early. So I want to say here, I'm not trying to cause any disruption in what God the Creator has already planned. I am hoping that we will see a release of the darkness that seems to be like taking our breath away these days. So, and especially, you know, what's really incredible is sometimes force applied at the right time can end up being the softest touch to have things topple. It's like when you finally see a house of cards finally come down. So let's see how the next year unfolds, see if this prediction of Donald Trump being removed with a health condition that he absolutely has to be removed to heal for. Not making any predictions on who tries to claim his chair at that point, but I feel like he's got health concerns that are catching up to him, and there could be 3 to 4 significant ways that his world cracks open from the illusions and delusions that he has kept feeding. Now, I do want to, because I did mention Neptune, and I was curious, you know, I made a statement earlier when I tuned into him on this client's reading that, oh my God, whatever planet's controlling illusion and delusion, he really is sleeping, eating it, and peeing it. And I don't mean to be rude, but I just want to say it's going to swallow him whole. Okay, there's no escaping this anymore for him. And honestly, if he lives beyond these health concerns, you could see almost a band of marching people trying to come after him, honestly. So now, I did look briefly up. I'm not an astrologer, but I just had to look up, is Neptune really affecting him? So let me show you what I found, and any astrologer coming in can correct or confirm or add. Okay, so remember, Neptune governs the boundary between what is real and what is imagined. Okay, its higher expressions, of course, include intuition, spirituality, dreams, psychic sensitivity, imagination, compassion, and artistic inspiration. Its difficult or shadow expressions include illusion, delusion, deception, denial, fantasy, escapism. Hey, has anybody been counting up how many times he escaped to Jeffrey Epstein's island? Just wondering. And the difficulty distinguishing reality from perception. Okay, so illusion, delusion, fog, fantasy, altered perception is basically what we're talking about. So I wanted to know, is Neptune transiting Donald Trump's chart in any way, more specifically, over the next 6 months? Because I'm saying all of the cracks in his wall, they're starting by January, even if he's still on his own feet. So the answer to that is yes. There is going to be a significant Neptune transit in Donald Trump's chart in the next coming 6 months. And if we have the birth date correct, June 14, 1946, 10:54. Ooh, yeah, that's almost close to my time in the morning. 10:54 a.m., Queens, New York. Okay, his natal Neptune is in Libra. Now, so this is what's going to be happening, and astrologers can correct me. Neptune is opposing his natal Neptune. So right now, Neptune is in early Aries. During the next 6 months, it moves backwards. It's going to station direct December 12, 2026 in Aries. And then it's going to advance, still in Aries, by February 2027. Now, Aries and Libra are opposite signs, remember? Okay, now, okay, the opposition is going to become a little tighter as Neptune advances further through Aries. So, among the things that will come up here now for him, again, as we've been saying, a person's relationship with belief, fantasy, idealization, perception, deception, and self-deception. An opposition from Neptune can traditionally be interpreted as challenging the distinction between what someone believes and what is objectively clear and true. What's objectively true. Okay, so it's also going to be Trump has Mercury in Cancer, which is associated with thinking, speech, information, communication. While Neptune is moving further into Aries, it's going to square Trump's Mercury. Okay, and astrologers can correct me, confirm, or change. If that's true, same thing. The Neptune transit, we'd be looking at statements made, beliefs, and information being challenged or exposed, okay? So it's just gonna be, it's gonna be like all these little, you already know Trump, it's always all these little bombs. It's gonna be worse though, because it's coming to light for other people to see, okay? You know, he can just keep going sometimes, but I feel like it's not going to keep going. So, now, okay, so it is simply going to be the beginning of a prolonged period of putting Trump's perceptions, his narratives, and his personal relationship with reality and illusion under great pressure. So see if he can survive all of even the world coming at him for all of the lies that have come out of his mouth. So anyway, not wishing any ill intent, ill will, illness. You don't have to believe any word I say. There's no way to say that I'm right. And I'm not even wanting to be right. I'm just wanting to express that there could be some really interesting changes, and let's meet in time. Let's see if any of this is true. Until then, I shall bid you adieu. Cheers. Delightful tea. It was Tulsi, which is actually a wonderful tea to help you use oxygen better. Speaking of cardiovascular breathing issues. So cheers, cheers, cheers to your health, and have a wonderful political future. I'll see you again for another cup of tea. Cheers, everybody. Thank you for listening.